Well, we're so excited today to talk to the cast about Everybody Still Hates Chris, the all-new, reimagined adult animated version of the classic sitcom Everybody Hates Chris. Which we all know is based on Chris Rock's childhood in 1980s Brooklyn. So, should we bring out the cast? Let's do this. First up, voicing Julius, please welcome Terry Crews.
Wow.
And voicing Rochelle, please welcome Tichina Arnold. And next, he's voicing young Chris. Please welcome Tim Johnson Jr.
Yes.
And next up, we have executive producer and showrunner, Sanjay Shah.
Yes.
That's right.
Voicing Tanya, please welcome Ozioma Akagha. And voicing Drew, please welcome Terrence Little Gardenhigh. And last but certainly not least, voicing Greg, please welcome Gunnar Sizemore. Hello.
Hello.
Welcome. Wait, so is this the first time you all are in the same room together?
First time.
Technically, yeah.
Correct. Indeed.
Well, that must be fun, exciting to meet each other finally, right?
Yes, yes. And we're all cute, right? We're cute, right?
But Terry, I want to start with you. How has Julius changed since we last saw him?
Not at all. He's still cheap. Now, you got to understand this about this character and why he is so special to me. You have to understand, Julius is the only character that's named after his real father. Everyone else's names have been changed and moved around a little bit, but Julius actually passed away and never got to see all of what happened with Chris Rock. And this is why it makes it so special to me, because Chris actually dedicates his whole comedic career to his father. And the fact that, I mean, I get choked up actually thinking about it. The fact that I was handpicked by him to play his dad, it's never lost on me, and about how special this thing is. And to have so many people come up to me year after year and tell me I grew up watching this, and the fact that I've had young men come to me, young men and women, who said, we did not have a dad in my home. You were a father, what represented a father to us. It's deep, it's hilarious, it's wonderful, and then to get the opportunity 20 years later to play the same character with the beautiful Tichina Arnold as Rochelle, and this wonderful new cast, and the brilliant showrunner, Sanjay, who has studied and basically really went and did all his homework and preserved the legacy of what this show is. Keisha?
Yes.
This is groundbreaking, it's beautiful, and I could not be more honored to be here in front of this wonderful Comic-Con audience. We love you guys. Thank you for being here for us.
Keisha, should we show them a clip maybe?
No, I think we should. We should show them something.
Should we show
right?
them something?
Yeah, we want to see.
I'm Sanjay Shah. I'm the showrunner, executive producer. Chris and I first talked about doing this 4 years ago during the pandemic. Met him on Zoom, and he disappeared for 20 minutes, and I was just waiting there, and he was like, oh, sorry, the Postmates guy was chatty. And we got to talking about it, and we shared a vision, and we wanted to pursue animation, which I'm sure we'll get into later, the reasons why. But I would really love for him to be here. He had another commitment, but from the very first conversation we had, we talked about, how great would it be if we brought this to Comic-Con, and here we are.
The characters, I think, will just live forever. I was telling in an interview earlier, I just loved what Sanjay has done with this show. My first day at work, getting in the booth. Animation is not easy to do. Voiceovers is not easy. So I told Sanjay, I said, I'm so used to being so animated as Rochelle in front of the camera, but now I'm behind the mic. So two completely different worlds. And so learning this world and still being the Rochelle that I helped create and culminate, very exciting. So, but it feels good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And going to you, Tim, listen, you are the voice of young Chris.
There he is!
So what was going through your mind when you first learned that you got the role?
It was crazy. It was crazy. So I was taking my sister to school. I had my phone on D&D, do not disturb. And then I got home, and on the iPhone, you could read like your voicemails and stuff. And so I'm looking, and it said, you booked. And I was like, oh, I like that. And then I listened to it, and like we have like a Google camera, where you can see the driveway and everything. And so I'm ringing the doorbell while I'm doing this, so the camera's on, and I look, and I hear, he says, yeah, you're playing the voice of young Chris, and everybody still hates Chris. And I was like, what? And so I started jumping up and down. I was like, thank you, God, thank you, God. And my dad was like, what is going on? So he got to the door and opened the door. I was like, I'm Chris. And he's like, what? So shout out to you, Dad, over there, recording. Yeah. So, yeah, this is a blessing. I'm excited to be here and to see y'all and be with everybody.
Shout out to Dad in
Yeah.
the audience. And Ozioma, hello, play.
Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show
Thanks
as
for
young
having me.
Tanya. What can we expect from her in the series?
Oh man, trouble. I think she gives Chris a hard time. And I loved him, but I love giving him a hard time. It's fun, it's crazy, it's devious, it's everything and more. Yeah.
Exactly. And moving down the line over there to Drew, what can we expect? Hey, Drew.
Hey, how you doing?
I feel so far away from you.
Wait,
So-
say it one more time. I'm sorry.
I said I feel so far away from you.
No, oh yeah, right. No, but what we can expect from Drew? Well, for one, he kind of got a buff. Let's say that he got a buff, and I'm sorry, y'all. I'm really nervous right now.
Yeah, you doing it.
I can't believe I'm here right now.
From the heart.
But nah, Drew got a buff. He's still fairly the same. He got taller, got more athletic, and he's a little better with the ladies. Let's say that.
And taking it over to you, at the very end, what's going on with Greg?
The exact opposite of what Terrence just said. You can expect the sleaziest little stinker that you've ever seen. He does like the exact opposite of a wingman, even though he's always in the wingman position. If wingmen pushed women away, Greg would be the best.
And for you, Sanjay, we've seen the legacy of the original series, but now we're doing a reimagined animated version. Why was right now the time to tell this story?
Well, it goes back to, when I met Chris, and he clearly had a lot more stories to tell. The original series covered 88 episodes, and a lot of those episodes, they sprung from his real life. The man has so many more stories to tell, and I connected with them. we gelled on a vision for what an animated version of this could be. But the other reason is, the show takes place in a kind of a perpetual 1987. And we love the 80s, right? Because it's a time before the internet ruined everything. So we're very nostalgic. I love the internet mostly, but we are nostalgic for this time for a variety of reasons. And, the 80s weirdly parallels today. I mean, they were dealing with AIDS, we're dealing with COVID. It's not like racial strife is going away. Unfortunately, racial strife is evergreen. It's bad for the world, but great for comedy. It's great for comedy. And, the show was kind of a harbinger for things to come. So it just felt like it was the right time to tell this story, more stories from his youth from the late 80s.
I told Terry years ago when we were doing it, I said, this show, everybody's going to love this show and they're going to miss it when it's gone. And that's exactly what happened. Just on the first day that we worked, we just knew we had energy. We knew that this was something that was meant to be. So we thank all of you for all of your support for Everybody Hates Chris. Now still everybody still hates Chris. Thank you. Thank you.
And and to add to what you just said, that support is worldwide.
Yes, Brazil.
One thing that
Shout out to Brazil.
Yes.
Te
amo.
Can I just say, when when they go to Brazil, they get mobbed on the streets.
We love it. I love it.
They get mobbed. The show is so beloved around the world, and that was the other reason we wanted. We in syndication, it really had this life that just became international, and so that was the other reason we brought it back.
Nice. And Tichina and Terry, coming back to this show, it meant so much to people, the original series, and now coming back, what have you learned in the time that you've been away, and what makes you thrilled to be revisiting these characters?
Go ahead.
Well, first of all, I got a greater appreciation. I'll be honest, when I started on Everybody Hates Chris, it was right after, Longest Yard, White Chicks, and the whole thing. And
those are his shameless plugs.
I would straight up tell everybody. I would tell everybody on the set, even the little kids, like, I'm a movie star, y'all. I mean, Tichina, excuse me, you're standing next to a movie star. Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
He's not lying. He's not lying.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I was so sick of his ass.
But you just watch it grow and grow. But this is the thing. I discovered TV was where it was at.
That's right.
First of all, remember when we were doing it, it was not peak TV at the time.
Not at all.
But years later, television became the most satisfying experience everyone could have in entertainment. So now going back and looking back, and it's funny because I watched it with my kids, and we would sit around and we were like, oh my God, this is better than a movie. This is one giant 4-year film, is what we're doing. Even the way we shot it. And another thing was dealing with the working class comedy, which I thought, we were at a time where everybody was rich on TV. It was like coming right after Cosby, and we all know how that ended. And so everybody was like, what's your favorite must-see TV? I'll be like, Friends? You can't say Cosby. You couldn't say it at all. But looking back in pride, where people could look at a show, a black show, that everyone could be proud of and say, no, Everybody Hates Chris. This is how life is. I mean, Julie is trying to make it. Rochelle trying to spend it. and listen, I mean, young Chris just getting the brunt of every demeaning. I mean, you could go all in on him knowing he was going to become one of the most successful comedians in world history. So it was so groundbreaking and wonderful. Those are some of the things that I learned.
Yeah.
President Camacho 2024.
Camacho, hey!
We've got one vote. You've got at least one vote.
Awesome.
But Everybody Hates Chris, and now Everybody Still Hates Chris is a comedy that you could watch with your whole family.
Yes.
There's not many shows that you could do that with, and that comes from a real place, but yet still makes you laugh, and just, you walk away feeling good. And Everybody Hates Chris, back then, we beat a lot of odds. Yeah. We were on, UPN network, and then UPN went away, and then we went over to CW network, and then I told the kids, okay, we're starting to see white teenager shows. We're not gonna survive too long. Save your money. But
I was like, Gossip Girl is over
but
here.
things evolve, and evolution is good. But to have a show that has been able to survive this long and still, just bring smiles to people's hearts, and now we get to do it in animation. What a blessing. Yes. What a blessing.
Yes. And Sanjay, you're at the helm of this, and you get to tell more of those stories. What are you excited to explore this season?
When Chris and I were talking about the pilot, he said this thing. He said, life is a test. And I said, how do we build on that? And that's kind of the theme we're exploring in the entire season. But we're gonna have other stuff too. We're gonna have Easter eggs, and we're gonna visit characters that we love from the original show. So many guest stars. We're doing an interesting thing with the music. But again, just a 20-minute conversation with Chris sometimes, it's like there's 10 story ideas right there, And to be able to explore those stories, I think is gonna be a real treat for everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm happy I got to sing. That was me singing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Just so you
This
know.
woman has some pipes.
Because a lot of people, I wrote a theme song. All of it didn't make it, but they kept the Everybody Hates Chris. But I got to do it for the animation, so it's kind of fun.
So you get to do it. We're gonna hear your voice on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, great.
Beautiful.
That's right.
And Tim,
Yeah.
you're coming on a show with Tichina and Terry, and we know they have great personalities. So how are you able to work with that and feel like a part of the team and joining this Everybody Still Hates Chris family?
Everybody's just so loving. And it was really cool having our first Zoom. We had a Zoom call, and Mr. Rock was on there, and everybody here was on there. And I think the biggest thing that I felt was like, yo, I'm here. I was like, this is a dream. And look, hearing the narration while we're doing the table read, I'm like, dang, we really in the show. And I'm like, okay. So it was really cool to be able to now be a part of this, to be here with you guys in person. And look, the studio experience has been fun. We got to play around a lot, and yeah, it's been awesome. I love it.
So we're not assholes, so yeah.
Everybody
Really cool people.
Everybody cool. Yeah, everybody.
Sometimes it's okay to meet your heroes, right? And Ozioma, what makes you excited to be a part of this project?
The energy of it. What y'all see up here, all this positive energy, all of this laughing, that's who Terry and Tichina really are. They bring such an energy to the show, and it make it, for me, so easy to be comfortable in really getting into this world. I'm so excited to be part of it.
And Connor, do you feel the same way? What was it like joining the project?
Oh, yeah. I mean, one of the things that was so wonderful about stepping in the booth every time is that Sanjay really is like an actor's writer and an actor's director, and the entire team was able to honor the show's legacy so well with their writing. But then when I'd come into the booth, we had room to play. We had room to improvise and make each other laugh. And that was such a satisfying experience as an actor, because it's hard to trust your actors sometimes when people get scared. But Sanjay trusted everybody the whole way through. And I think even in the clip that you guys just saw, it really shows. We had a blast making this, and yeah, I was just excited to walk into the recording studio every day.
Terrence, what about you?
Man, I feel the same way as him. I mean, every single time that we stepped into that booth or just being around the people who are there helping us to create Mr. Sanjay, engineers, everybody, it's such a welcoming environment. And you really just feel the love. And the fact that you guys trust us and give us the creative liberty to, like you were saying, play around with the character, really make it our own, I really appreciate that. So, but to wrap that up, it feels amazing. It feels absolutely amazing. It's a dream come true. This is a show that I grew up watching. So it's like, to be a part of this now and then play Drew? Like, come on now.
It's a big show. It's a big undertaking for sure because it's so iconic, and to step into it and be like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't embarrass anybody. I hope I don't embarrass myself. I hope no one gets mad at me. I hope I stay true to this. It's like coming into somebody else's house and taking off your shoes and doing your laundry. But when we first got on the Zoom, everyone's talking and saying hi to each other because it felt like a huge family reunion, but here I am, I don't know anybody. But the first thing Tichina goes is, everyone be quiet, I gotta say hi to my children. I was like, oh, good. It's going to be a great time. I felt so comfortable, so welcome. It's such a good experience.
And the fact that you guys, the fans, trust us too to make this great. I mean, the love in the room is wonderful. We feel it up here. So thank you guys, seriously.
Best fans in the world are right here.
Yes.
Because this whole animation thing for actors, for me, Terry and I were used to coming on the set and literally making the cameramen laugh. If you can make the cameramen laugh, it's not going to hit the editing floor. You know, the joke worked. But to come in a booth, be in a room by yourself, now you become your own audience. Not easy to do. Yep. So I spend my whole time trying to make Sanjay laugh. As he's on the other side of the booth. But, you know, it is a process. So I always like to tell people, you know, just from an actor's point of view, how it feels, because everybody on this dais right now, we are here to serve. We're here to make your heart feel a little better. We're here to do as much hard work as we can to get a good product. And so hopefully you'll be seeing this years and years and years to come.
Yeah.
No doubt, no doubt.
And it is true that voice acting is a different experience than a live action series.
Very much so.
So how did you form those familial bonds that we see in the show? What did you do to work on those relationships?
Ooh, wow. You know, I have to say this. You remember, it's a time capsule. It's set in the 80s. And comedy was different in the 80s. Y'all remember 80s comedy?
A lot of it has been banned.
That's what I'm saying. Wait, first of all, you can't do half of the things. Half of my career I can't acknowledge. But in animation, you can. Yes. That is the lovely part about being animated. I'm like, Sanjay, you know I couldn't do this live, right? He's like, yeah, but we're gonna draw it. And I was like, it's perfect. And that was the thing that tied me in. Because I love comedy. I love comedy. Yeah. I love going there. You know what I mean? From Brooklyn Nine-Nine to Idiocracy. Everything I've ever done, I just love making people laugh and going there. But I like being the butt of the joke, not to laugh at anyone else's expense. And what I loved was that this ability to have heart right along with the comedy. And I read all those episodes, and I'm like, Sanjay, you guys got it, man. You kept everything that this show had and turned it up with the animation. You know, the breakaway, the cut, you know, we used to always do cutaways where, you know, Rochelle is doing something crazy. Remember that time we had the laughing fit?
Oh my gosh.
Walking down Chris, and we just cracked up because he said he had a date, and we just laughed at him.
In the living room.
Remember that in the living room, and we just laughed and laughed, and he's just sitting there just taking it. But this is the stuff we do constantly on this show. We can cut away, and all of a sudden you're there. You're all of a sudden taken to another place. And I said, man, just keep this formula. You know, it's kind of like cooking. Too much salt, you ruin it. Too little, it's dull. They seasoned this thing just right. It's exactly where it needed to be. Thank you.
It's worked well with my menopause, too, because...
That's a great metaphor,
Oh,
Terry.
no, I'm telling you, I'll be in the booth and I'm like, what did I do 20 years ago? I can't remember. And I'm like talking it through with Sanjay. I'm like, Sanjay, did you watch that episode? Because most of the time when I do a show, once we as actors leave the set, we don't remember shit.
Yeah.
Like everything just goes out the window because you got to put your brain open enough to remember the next script. So, but that's the fun of it too. It's just kind of replaying and going back through memories, and such a great show. Such good memories and beautiful cast. We're very excited.
Yeah, give it up for the cast. And for the newer cast members walking into this experience, what have you learned from working with Tichina and Terry?
Just go for it.
Oh, that's
Just go. I mean, look at Tichina. I mean, it's just all the energy, all the life, all the just go for it. Try to make somebody laugh on the other side of that glass, for sure, for me.
Most definitely, the confidence, that's real. I mean, I gotta, this is like, I've met Mr. Terry before, of course. We didn't get a chance to actually really meet each other for real. This is our first time all being here together. So, for what I gotta say, I love y'all, man. I really do. But, like, what I learned from you guys was real talk from the older show. You know what I mean? Like the original. That's what I meant to say. That's not the original. But yeah, I most definitely learned confidence, what you said. Confidence in yourself and believing that what you're creating and what you're putting out is good. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Those are words to live by, guys. Believe in yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. And to Ozzy and Terrence, ditto. But also, the thing that I learned from Terry and Tichina's performances most, just from like studying the original show, is that at the core of every joke, no matter how far they go, it's always coming from the heart.
Wow.
You know, they care so much about Chris in the show. And even as Greg, who's like not the greatest friend, the only reason people watch, yeah, it's true, but the only reason people watch is because he tries. You know, he tries to be great, and that's entertaining. And all of these characters, they're not perfect, but they're all trying. It's all coming from the heart always. So seeing that really show in Terry and Tichina's performance was a great roadmap for preparing for the show.
One more thing. And this is like, I'm saying this as a fan, comedic timing. You guys taught me comedic timing.
Oh, nice.
Oh my goodness. Like,
Well, I learned my comedic timing from Martin, so.
Yeah.
that's real.
Terry, where did you learn your comedic timing?
From her. I learned my comedic timing from her. You gotta understand, I'm an old football player. I got concussions, man. Listen, me and my wife is sitting over there, Rebecca. We would sit, you gotta understand what time this was. We were this is back in like 89. We would sit in our basement apartment in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and I was waiting, hoping to get into the NFL, playing football at Western Michigan University, and we would sit and watch Martin every Thursday. And I was like, look at her. And listen, I was transfixed because I was like, wow. This is Tichina Arnold. You gotta understand, coming onto the set to work with her, I was like, oh my God, this is the person I was watching with, and Martin and Jose, and I knew all the characters, I knew all the stuff. They changed the way we talked. It was like, what's up? You know? And BDBs, BDBs. And I was just like, I was so transfixed. And you gotta understand, there were a couple times I was real nervous, like, hi, hello, Tichina. She's like, Terry, come on now, get over here. And when I say she taught me how to act, literally, I would be sitting over there struggling with my lines, like, oh my God, how do I do this, how do I do it? She said, Terry, sing your lines, Terry, sing them. I was like, what? Sing them. If you ever sing a song, you ever forget it when you sing it? I was like, no, sing the lines. And I was like, oh my God, it works. She taught me, because she knew I was green. She saw the concussions. She always, and I gotta tell you this, when we started to do this, when we were in talks to do this.
Yeah.
I said I can't do it without her. I cannot do this show if we don't have Tichina and we don't EP this together from the ground up. And I was so happy because I mean, there's no show without her. And I said, man, this has got to be, it's got to eclipse what it was or don't do it.
Right.
This is the same show.
It's the
I'm
same
here to
show.
tell you, I got all choked up because
You
it
always
means that
get
much to me.
choked up.
Damn it.
Give it up for Terry.
Well, can I say something? Yeah, he did play football before, but this man's attention to detail.
Yes.
Before he came on, he said, let me see the art. Because what you might not know about Mr. Terry Crews is he was a visual artist, still is.
Amazing.
He wanted to be an animator. He wanted to go to art school to be an animator.
That's dope.
And so we really labored to make our art feel like something special. And Terry was part of that.
Most definitely. We're all personally invested. We're invested. As actors, you become invested. You become the character. You live and breathe the character, and you just do everything in your possible ability to make sure you get the best out of yourself for the project, but not just for yourself, but for the whole project. So that because it's hard, like, not being in the booth with him.
Yeah.
So I'll tell Sanjay, can you play it again? Let me hear how he, like, let me hear a little bit what he said. It just helps things. So you just, and Terry paying attention to detail, and consummate professional, this guy. Consummate professional. He is, I told him, I said, I've never seen a big black guy be as funny as you. Seriously. He's agile. Oh, here we go with the.
That makes my back so happy.
You came for a panel and you got a show.
Yeah, but you gotta be fearless. You gotta be fearless.
I'm
And
so
I think
scared one of his
that's
pecs are
yeah.
going to explode. I'm so scared.
And coming into a show that has such notoriety, it can't be easy. There has to be some pressure. So for the younger cast coming into the show, how are you able to manage that and add your own flavor to your characters?
Yeah, I would say, but first of all, I want to say this, because it's crazy that I'm sitting right here between y'all having this conversation. You talk about Martin, you talk about, look, from white chicks and everything. That's wild. Because I want to say this too, like, y'all help shape my comedy brain.
Dope.
So it's like, this is crazy. Yeah, so answering the question now, I would say I love the show, like I said. I grew up with the show. I love Tyler. Tyler James Williams. He's the man. He inspires me as a performer so much. And so to be able to take this baton and carry it on, and like how everybody's talking, this is a legacy. Everybody hates Chris, that everybody still hates Chris, is a universe.
Yes.
And it's going to continue to expand. We, like you saw in the clip, it starts from when Chris is 17. So now he's growing up. Everything has a little more weight because he's figuring out who he is. So whether it's from, his love life or lack of love life, or his family dynamics and just everything, he's figuring out who he is. So I think taking on this character, understanding the weight and gravity of the show just excites me. Yeah. And just to be here and to hear the stories and being like, wow, now I get to be part of the story.
That's right.
Is huge.
Did you have any idea of what you wanted to do prior to? Because it's like hard, just as an actor coming in and hearing somebody else's voice do a character that you're now playing. Did you go into the booth like, oh, I'm gonna add this to it, or I'm gonna do this different? Did any of those things go through your mind when you came in?
Yeah, for me, it was like, okay, I was really encouraged to be myself. And I was like, oh, cool.
Okay, good one.
And so I was like, all right, let me play with this, And then also what we did through the process was like, okay, what is Tyler's tonality? Okay, now let's go to, let's watch Chris Rock specials to get his flavor and his timing and how he does certain things. And so it was like, okay, a mix of both of those plus adding myself in it. And so it created something that I feel like
You did
it's
a
gonna be
really
fun.
good job, man.
Did amazing.
Very good job.
Thank you so much.
Very proud.
Amazing.
Not easy
Thank
to
you.
And Ozioma, how did you get into the role of, how did you prepare for the role of Tanya?
Oh, man. You know, I'm actually third born. I have 2 older brothers. First girl, and daddy's favorite. I didn't have to do a day. I didn't have to do a thing. I showed up, and I wreaked havoc on my poor brother. We still talk. We're fine now, but woo. You know, for this show, it's so big. It was so much bigger than me. I couldn't even like conceptualize like playing Tanya. I got the audition. I did it. I was like, there's no way. I was just gonna do this and like and go about my day. And then I did the callback, and I was like, it's too big. It's too big. It's touched so many lives. And then I thought, and then when I got it, I was like, oh, we're like you now have to like do this. And I thought I had to keep in mind this is a job of service. I'm here to make people's day for 20 minutes better. I'm here to provide an escape. And how can I serve this script? It's written so well.
Very well.
Half the time I don't even know if I'm doing anything, to be completely honest. Because I'm like, the jokes are there. You can have, what can I bring to it? I mean, these words are so hilarious. There are and so rich. I mean, there are episodes that I read and I'm bawling, crying. That's how I prepare. You got to read the episode first so you don't get in the booth and feel like an audience member. And then you get into record and I'm crying in the booth. So it's just, it's all so beautiful. But I really remember that I'm in a service. I'm serving you all. I'm trying to make you all stay better. I'm trying to make you all escape and feel good for a little bit of time, and serving the writers. I'm trying to make sure that what you wrote and the lives that you put from brain to paper are how you wanted them, and so much more. So just constantly thinking, it's really not about me. It's about y'all. It's about serving my cast, the writers, the fans. It's really a position of service.
Give it. That was a great answer. That was well said. Now I want to open this up to everyone. Without giving anything away, what scene or episode are you most excited for people to see, and why? Let's start with you on the end, Connor.
Yeah, the most exciting one for me, I can't say too much. I'll say that it involves an adult film and fantastic music. But I'll leave that up to you. Either wait or try to figure it out. But it was so fun to record. And the animation in one of the sequences in that episode is absolutely mind-blowing. Like, it's like nothing that I've seen in adult animation. So keep an eye out for the adult film music episode.
Excuse me.
Terrence, tough act to follow.
Right. Dag, and see, I really don't want to spoil anything, so I'm gonna try to keep this short. It's like there's this moment with me, my sister, and my older brother. There's a hold on.
Yeah, don't tell the story.
You know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I know what you're talking about. Don't say it. Dad, don't say it.
Hey, y'all. Hey, real talk. Y'all might just have to wait. I don't want. All right.
It involves a vehicle.
It does. It involves
It
a
does.
vehicle.
Sanjay's just watching in horror right now.
We're about to lose our
Sanjay's right
jobs.
here.
We're about to lose our jobs.
No, I'm about to say it's like this is my job, and it's like. It's just getting,
Who's your agent again? Who's your agent? I'm kidding.
all right. It's a great moment that involves my brother, my sister. We get in trouble. We're about to get in trouble, but we fix the problem. Can I
Yes.
say that?
Yeah.
We fixed the problem. And it was amazingly written, and it was awesome to. I was going to say film. It was awesome to record.
Yeah. One of the very few times that we agree and decide to work together, I think. I think my favorite episode, and I can't give, and not giving anything away. This is hard, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to tell you.
It's Tanya, it's Dad, and it shows more than just Tanya being the favorite. It's a real relationship between Tanya and her dad. That's my
I think I know what you're
favorite.
talking about.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's cool. My favorite scene is when we jump into the future and the Cylons have taken over. Different show. No, my favorite scene is one of the first that I wrote, and it's the entire family around the table. And it's a really simple scene, but it's the reason I like it is it's funny, but there's like a heartfelt moment in it, but it really captures not only this family dynamics, but I think universal family dynamics, shifting alliances, and it's kind of my wish fulfillment for how I wish my Thanksgiving dinners ended, so that everyone was still friends. But it's a very simple family scene in the pilot that hopefully you'll see.
Tim, we're gonna get to you in a second, but for anyone who wants to ask a question, you can start lining up single file, no running, and we will get to your questions. But Tim, take it away.
I would say one of my favorite moments is, this is a shout out to the moms and everything, of Chris figures out why his mom is so hard on him sometimes. And he's paying homage to his mom.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's real.
Real quick, while we're shouting out moms, my mom is here right now.
Shut up, Mom. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, look, Mom, we're here. Continue.
Yes, and shout out to the moms, because Rochelle, everybody, I went to Brazil, and everyone asked me, oh, well, how does it feel, so angry? She's so angry. And I said, no, this is out of love. Mothers do things out of love. It's for the betterment of her family. So there's a moment, I never told Sanjay this, but when I came in, I did this particular episode, and let's just say Rochelle, she gets in touch with her softer side, and she has a moment where she deals with her mother issues. Not being a mother, but being in a relationship with her, having the relationship that she has with her mother, but with somebody else.
Thank you. And Terry,
That's
very
as far
briefly.
as I can see.
Terry, very briefly.
Yes, one episode, Julius is very disciplined. He is always about his money. He has to count everything that's going on. But also in his relationship, he has, because of this discipline, he develops an inability to see other women's butts. And it's people in the barbershop are trying to get Julius to look at women's butts, and he can't see them. They just don't exist to him. It was one of the funniest things, because I know that in real life. I've been married 35 years. I don't see women's butts. There's only one butt that I see and recognize.
Terry is really like that. Okay, just flashback moment. We had an episode where we had to kiss for the first time. This guy was so sweaty. His palm was sweaty.
We didn't need an intimacy coordinator.
I was like, relax. There's not going to be any tongue involved. It's okay. Right, Bex? And your wife was there that day on our first day of kissing. So,
okay.
you see, you did it. You did it.
I'm nervous you talking about it.
Well, on that note, we're going to cue it to the audience. First question.
Hello, everyone. For Terry Crews, my question is, since you're returning to this role after taking a break for a long time, did you need help from the producers in returning to the role and transitioning out of live action into animation?
No help at all. You know what I did? I just binge watched. I binge watched the show, and I was right back in it. It was, you gotta understand, we spend more time together when we were doing it live than we did with our own families.
Yeah.
It was 12-hour days, sometimes 16-hour days.
We had 16-hour days.
And you come home, hey, I'm going to bed. And then you wake up and you're Julius again. You know, you're like, ah. And so what I did was just, you never forget your characters. Just like, but you know what's so crazy? And I don't want to take too much time, but it's like my kids. You know, I have 5 total in different times over the 35 years we've been married. And just like I've been in the business for 25 years, and you do characters, and they're like your kids, and it's like they were always there.
That's weird.
That is scary. It's weird. Because all the characters you have ever played, it's like they always existed. Yeah. They're real. And when I got back to Julius, I was like, here he is. Hey, man, good to see you. You know, it was like we just popped in. And it's very, very, it's a wonderful feeling, to be honest, because these are people that you thought, man, I'll probably never get to see him again.
It's euphoric.
You know what I mean? And then you go, oh my God, we get to hang with Julius and Rochelle and these kids again.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful feeling. So I binge watched all over and I was back instantly.
Yeah.
Hi there. First of all, welcome to Comic-Con. I'm a big fan of the original show. I've been looking forward to this for a while. I quote Rochelle's 2 jobs line all the time, including to my wife, who will probably divorce me over it. I wanted to ask everyone on the panel, seeing as Terry hosts America's Got Talent, does anyone on the panel have a weird talent or something on their special skills section that is interesting?
I have a lot of weird talents. But believe it or not, nobody knew I used to make paper doll houses. Oh, okay. Yeah, I like working with miniatures and stuff. But yeah, that's my weird talent. I can make little paper doll houses.
Have you done one recently?
Huh?
Have you made one recently?
No, I'm too busy for that.
She's got 2 jobs. Come on.
I'm working on moving my pecs. I'm not good at it yet, but I'm working on it. I aspire to be just as good as Terry.
Well, for me, I sing.
Yeah.
What's going on, Comic-Con? Ooh. Yeah. But I sing, yeah.
Oh, that sounds good.
Well, thank you.
But that's not a weird talent.
It's not weird. I don't know what's a weird talent.
Like,
I mean,
do you pick up your digging your nose?
Oh, that's not a talent.
No, some people are talented.
Oh, I've seen some. Yeah, I've seen some people in their car. They really talented at that. Oh, a weird talent. I don't know. I don't know, man. Singing just came to mind. Oh, I could beatbox.
Oh, see, there you go. Hey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Okay, accomplished, yes.
So, Tichina, no one disciplines like you do.
Oh my God. Wait.
From how I got into college.
I know you.
Yes, you do, girl.
What's up, man? How are you? We met a long time ago. He used to work at the Grove.
Yeah, thanks for letting me know I was your waiter. Thanks, honey.
Nice to see you, man.
Okay, I gotta make this quick. There's a lot of people behind me. What is your #1 memory or best memory of disciplining Chris? And please let it be the one I think it is.
Ooh, I love the one where I put my foot up his ass. You already know, man.
Correct.
Remember when you slapped the black off him and there was black in a little bag? Oh, that was so good.
Oh my God, and the cops, oh my God.
Cops came up with a little black in the bag. We have black hair. She smacked the black off him.
Oh my God. Oh, funny.
Oh.
Hi.
Hello. First off, I want to say, Terry and Tichina, I watched the original show when I was a kid. Y'all do not age. Y'all look so good.
Go on, please, go on.
But my question is actually for Terrence. I watch Danger Force with my siblings, and I love it. I'm 22 and I watch it. But I was very curious on how your transition from doing a show for a younger audience has been for you, from going from that to now a show with more adult content, like more mature material.
Good question. Great question.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you, I appreciate that. Well, if I'm being honest, Danger Force isn't really where I started. I started with like Coffee and Cream. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of that, but that was, yeah, that was for anybody who's seen it, it's rated R. So it's like very, a very, adult content movie. So I guess I just kind of reverted back to my old ways a little bit. But no, yeah, it's just a switch, you just kind of turn it on. You read the material, you assess what you got to do, and you go in and you represent.
Yeah.
Great question, though. Thank you.
What up, though?
What up, though?
I'm from Detroit, and I grew up on Tichina for sure. Even before Martin for Little Shop of Horrors.
Wow. Yeah.
And Terry Crews, I just loved you since the first day I seen you on Friday. And I want to say Crackdown wasn't your fault. But Sanjay, I want to ask you this. Is it an episode that Chris get to see his parents as not his parents, just regular people that had interests before they had kids? Because me growing up, I'm 35 now, I talk to my parents now, and I find out, yeah, they used to go to the club, and they used to drink, and they used to have fun, and I know there's a lot of people here that never have them friendly conversations with their parents, and it gets very emotional because you never get to get there. It's always discipline. So I would like to know if it's like an episode like that.
I got great news for you, Detroit. We have that episode.
Yeah.
We have.
I'm like,
We absolutely. How could we not explore that? How could we not explore that? It's not giving too much away, but we absolutely. It's something that I'm interested in. It's something that Chris was interested in talking about. We all talked about it, but he's growing older. He's 17. And this is when you start seeing your parents differently. So yeah, I hope you like the episode.
Thank you.
that's a great question.
Hello, everybody. I'm a very big fan of Everybody Hates Chris. I'm so excited to see what this show will bring. Terry Crews, you're one of my favorite actors. Thank you. Tichina, I didn't realize how much happiness you would bring me until I saw you show up. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. I paid him to say that. But thank you.
I got the Venmo. My question is actually for Sanjay. So in the original show, there's moments where the whole family is around a table and they're just sharing current situations they're in or like talking to each other. And it's a very big like family setting. And I loved how those were filmed. I know the show's now animated. Do you plan to incorporate those kind of moments?
Yep, it starts in the pilot. I love those scenes too. Those scenes are real. That's how my family was. And they're fun to write. So we have those scenes. I mean, animation, we really took I don't want to sound, too highfalutin, but, we're really approaching it in a cinematic way because, the camera can be anywhere. And so, we didn't shy away from even more traditional setups like you would have in a family scene like that because we lean into fantasy moments. We really, take advantage of being able to explore the medium in other ways. And it has like a grounding force on the show to remind us that this is rooted in realism. So we absolutely have scenes like that.
And I'll give you a fun fact. Our dining room scenes were the hardest and the longest to film. They took a long time because we're sitting around a table in a room literally that's the size of this table. And everybody has to have their own camera shots. By the time we finished those scenes at that dining room table, we would be exhausted. But look what an impact those scenes made. So thank you for recognizing that because those were the hardest scenes to shoot.
That's good.
Yeah, great question.
We have time for one more question.
This is my husband, and I just want to say, Terry Crews, I love you, but
Love you.
I just want to
I get all the love. I want all the love.
You act with your heart. You act with your heart in everything, and I just love that. But it's for Sanjay. Sanjay, with everything going around currently, you know, the world, do you ever get tempted, even though everyone still hates Chris is in the 80s, do you ever get tempted to kind of interject, you know, things that are going on today that are...
That's the beauty of this show, and one of the ways that this show feels fresh and like its own thing is we have Chris Rock narrating.
Of course,
and he's narrating
yes.
from a perspective of today.
Yeah.
He's narrating from today, and so I think that's how you're going to feel that.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
All right, we're gonna
We
sneak in
gotta
one
squeeze
more.
this one last one.
Come back,
Go back.
No, they're
Mike,
going to take you, man. They're going to take you.
Scream it out loud. Yeah, just say it out loud real quick.
One more.
Thank you, really quick. So my wife, she could not be with us today, so it's more like a request. I did have a question, but we're not gonna ask that question, so here we go. Can you please say into this camera, hello, Angela Burton Scott?
Angela Burton
Angela
Scott.
Bernstein.
Hello.
Hello, Angela Burton Scott.
Thank you, I love you.
No, we get paid for that.
We get paid. I got food stamps in the car, you know.
That's how you save some money right there. That's how you save some money.
Everybody Hates Chris will premiere later this year on Comedy Central. Thank you for joining us. Thank you to our panelists.